Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome everyone as we celebrate the 27th anniversary of our Boardman High School Maria Montessori chapter of the Italian National Honor Society. We are honored to have you here today. Before we begin our ceremony, we would like to honor one of our co-founders of the BHS chapter of the Italian National Honor Society, Mrs. Bernice Mazzella. Mrs. Mazzella played an instrumental role in Boardman's foreign language department for over 20 years. If you would please refer to your program on page 7, we would now like to take a moment of silence to remember her. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Madison Weimer and this is Dionisio and we are both the co-presidents of the National Honor Society. In addition to that, I'm also head of the Executive Committee for Italian Club and she is also co-vice president of Italian Club.
Signore e signori, siamo qui riuniti per accogliere fra noi con gioia gli studenti che hanno dimostrato un vivo interesse e attaccamento alla bella lingua italiana. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to recognize these students who have shown that they truly love Italian, the beautiful language of Italy. We are ready to induct these scholars into our BHS Maria Montessori chapter.
As we begin this introduction ceremony of the Maria Montessori chapter of the Società Onoraria Italica, we wish to acknowledge the following. From the administration, Superintendent of Boardman Schools, Mr. Tim Saxton. Principal, Mr. Mark Zura. Associate Principal, Ms. Ann Bott. And Assistant Principals, Mr. Morris Jadu and Mr. Kyle Sheehan. From the BHS faculty, Department of Italian, Mrs. Kristen Rickert, Ms. Gianna Pasciati, and formal faculty members, Mrs. Maddalena Amaro and Mrs. Mary Ann Kiefer. Parents of our inductees and other family members, our generous sponsor and past honorary member, Mr. Steve Coca of Coca's Pizza, our honorary members who are listening to the program, including our very own Mr. Jared Cardillo, Mr. Pat Kale, Mr. Joe Hollaba, and their teams for their help with setting up and filming tonight's ceremony. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aiden Camarada. I'm the president of the Italian Club and treasurer for the Italian National Honor Society. You have probably made note of the official name of our Boardman chapter and perhaps wondered, who is Maria Montessori? May I refer you to page 1 of our program as we observe the following. Maria Montessori, who lived from 1870 to 1952, was a pioneer in the field of education. Her methods of teaching influenced teaching practices all over the world, especially at the levels of nursery school, kindergarten, and primary grades. She was the first woman to receive a degree in medicine at the University of Rome. Interested in diseases of the mind, as a young doctor, she worked with mentally challenged children. She started many new teaching methods for such children, which proved very successful. What were the new ideas she had when it came to teaching? She believed that children should be free to work at their own speed with the teacher acting as a guide rather than as a formal instructor. Another of her ideas was that children should choose what they wanted to learn and work at studies they liked. These theories were practiced at her school, the House of Children in Rome. In 1922, she was appointed inspector of schools of the Italian government. At first, the dictator, Mussolini, approved of her work, but when she came out openly against fascism, he closed all her schools in Italy. Dr. Montessori moved to Spain and continued to instruct teachers in her methods there and later in India. She died in the Netherlands where she had gone to pursue her teaching career. We take pride in our chapter name.
Hello everyone, I'm Jana
Shaw, and I'm one of the vice presidents of the Italian National Honor Society and the treasurer for Italian Club. We also take pride in the standards by which our inductees were selected to be invited into membership of La Società Onoraria Italica. Italian 3 candidates must be enrolled and remain in Italian 4. They also must have attained a 3.5 average or above in Italian 1 and 2, and for the first semester in Italian 3. Italian 4 candidates must have an average of 3.5 or above in Italian 1, 2, and 3, and have an A or a B for the first semester of Italian 4. At this time, I would like to welcome up Milana Scrocco.
Hi, I'm Milana Scrocco. I'm Vice President of both Italian Club and Italian NHS. We invite you now to stand and remain standing as Katie Short, an Italian 3 student, sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Brava, Katie. Kindly refer to the words of the Pledge of Allegiance in Italian from your program on page 2 as the students salute the flag in Italian. Fedeltà alla bandiera degli Stati Uniti e alla Repubblica che rappresenta una nazione con l'aiuto di Dio indivisibile, con libertà e giustizia per tutti. Please remain standing as you listen to the Inno di Mameli, the Italian national anthem, as we continue our music interlude. The words are printed in the program if you wish to follow along.
Fratelli wrote the following: I am an Italian American, about the contributions of Italian American to this land of ours, America. Individual members of La Società will now come to the podium to make note of the many well-known Italian Americans. How many of them do you recognize? Now we will listen as Gina Sefera, Angelina Nespeka, Fred Miller, Kelsey McCollum, and James Perrone read this beautiful piece.
I am an Italian American. My roots are deep in an ancient soil drenched by the Mediterranean sun and watered by pure streams from snow-capped mountains. I am enriched by thousands of years of culture. My hands are those of the mason, the artist, the man of the soil. My thoughts have been recorded in the annals of Rome, the poetry of Virgil, the creations of Dante, and the philosophy of Benedetto Croce. I am an Italian American, and from my ancient world, I first spanned the seas to the New World. I am Cristoforo Colombo. I am Giovanni Caboto, known in American history as John Cabot, discoverer of the mainland of North America. I am Amerigo Vespucci, who gave my name to the New World America. First to sail on the Great Lakes in 1679, founder of the territory that became the state of Illinois, colonizer of Louisiana and Arkansas, I am Enrico Tonti. I am Filippo Mazze, friend of Thomas Jefferson, and my thesis on the equality of man was written into the Bill of Rights. I am William Paca, signer of the Declaration of Independence.
I am an Italian American. I financed the Northwest expedition of George Rogers Clark and accompanied him through the lands that would become Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. I am Colonel Francesco Vigo. I mapped the Pacific from Mexico to Alaska and to the Philippines. I am Alessandro Malaspina. I am Giacomo Beltrami, discoverer of the source of the Mississippi River in 1823.
I created the dome of the United States Capitol. They called me the Michelangelo of America. I am Constantino Bernini. In 1904, I founded in San Francisco the Bank of Italy, now known as the Bank of America, the largest financial institution in the world. I am A.P. Giannini. I am Enrico Fermi, father of nuclear science in America, first enlisted man to win the Medal of Honor in World War II. I am John Basilone of New Jersey. I am an Italian American. I am the million strong who served in America's armies and the tens of thousands whose names are enshrined in military ceremonies from the Guadalcanal to the Rhine.
I am the steelmaker in Pittsburgh, the grower in the Imperial Valley of California, the textile designer in Manhattan, the movie maker in Hollywood, the homemaker and the breadwinner in 10,000 communities. I am an American without stint or reservation, loving this land as only one who understands history, its agonies and its triumphs, can love and serve it. I will not be told that my contribution is any less, nor my role not as worthy as that of any other American. I will stand in support of this nation's freedom and promise against all foes. My heritage has dedicated me to this nation. I am proud of my full heritage, and I shall remain worthy of it. I am an Italian American.
At this time, we will proceed with the rest of the induction ceremony.
As we begin this formal part of our ceremony, Lainey Vanetti will proceed to the table and distribute the individual candles to the student inductees, who will remain seated. In addition, would Mackenzie Riccatelli, Joseph Anakin, Owen Lee, Eric Lipinski, and Mackenzie Kelso please come forward?
Each of these candelabras is symbolic of these qualities of a member of the Società Honoraria Italica.
Onestà, honesty.
Virtù, integrity.
Lealtà, loyalty.
Servizio, service.
Carattere, character.
Eccellenza, academic excellence. We believe our inductees represent these wonderful qualities.
Our official banner. Note the symbol of Roma, La Lupa, symbolic of her legendary founding.
Venezia, the winged lion, symbol of St. Mark, patron saint of Venice.
In Firenze, the fleur de lis, also called lo stemma.
Ecco la nostra bandiera.
At this time, it is our pleasure to announce that Ms. Ann Bott, our Associate Principal, is the 2024 honorary member. Ms. Bott is a proud 1988 Boardman High School graduate who went on to complete a Bachelor of Science degree in Education at The Ohio State University. She worked as a high school English teacher for 10 years and a school counselor for 3 years in Colorado after completing her school counseling master's degree. Ann and her daughter Sienna returned to her home state of Ohio in October of 2007 to be hired for the 2008-2009 school year at the Boardman Local Schools as a counselor at Boardman Center Middle School.
After 3 years at Center, Anne transferred to Boardman High School, where she was a school counselor until 2014, when she went to Glenwood Middle School to be the assistant principal for 1 year. She then returned to BHS as an assistant principal, and for the last 5 years as associate principal. Ms. Bott is honored each and every day to be a part of the Boardman Local Schools, helping students achieve their dreams after high school. She is thrilled to be here today to receive this award from the Italian National Honor Society. Benvenuta, Ms. Bott. Would you like to come up to the podium and say a few words?
Thank you, Jana and Owen. From the bottom of my heart. In accepting my honorary membership today, I would like to tell a brief story about my mother's parents, my grandparents. 2 people who helped raise me, instill values in me, and ensure that I become more than I could ever imagine. Growing up, I always knew my grandparents were Italian, but to them it was not something to discuss. I knew we were Italian because of the Latin masses that we attended, the holidays we celebrated, the conversation in Italian that I overheard, and the food we enjoyed as a family. Little did I know that growing up in the United States was difficult for my grandparents due to discrimination and poverty. You see, at a very young age, Giacomo Vincenzo Ferrianola would pass through Ellis Island with his parents to become James Vincent Ferris. His family would settle in Ohio. He would meet the love of his life in Antonetta Margarita Perry, or Anna Rita, as she was called, who was only a twinkle in her parents' eye when they too came through Ellis Island. These 2 very special people, with a zest for life and a work ethic beyond compare, built a life together. He a furniture upholsterer, and she a homemaker. They had 3 daughters, all very different, Dolores, Rita, and Teresa, the last Teresa being my mom. My grandparents rarely spoke about their heritage or expressed outwardly a pride in being Italian. They merely wanted to be part of the melting pot that was the American dream, and they wanted the same for their children and their grandchildren. In fact, it wasn't until many years after my grandfather passed and I was married that my grandmother, who is my namesake, ever gave me direct answers about their early lives and where they came from. My husband and I were planning our second of 3 trips to Italy and wanted to visit the place the families were from. She said, the place where they were from. She told me, "We are from Calabria." I said, "Okay, that's a pretty big place. Could you please tell me the name of the town?" She stared at me for a long time and finally said, "But why do you want to know? There is nothing there. It is just so poor." I once again said, "Please, Graham." She whispered as if it were top secret, "Nicastro." So when we returned to Italy, our sights were set on finding Nicastro, which was no small feat since it had been absorbed by the neighboring Lamezia Terme. As we walked through the area, all I could think of was how beautiful it is now compared to what it must have been for my grandparents' family to have packed everything up and to come to the United States looking for a new life. I thought of my youth and all of the conversations in Italian that were hushed and ended with, "No, speak English." I thought of wanting to study the Italian language in high school, only to be told by my grandmother, "Take Latin, become a lawyer." I thought of all the times when I asked my grandmother where our family was from to be met with, "We are American." We took many pictures on that trip and eventually made a photo album to share with her. I remember later how she looked at them in silence with moist eyes and simply asked, "Did you have a good time there?" Today, I find myself a successful educator, the associate principal at Boardman High School, the same high school that graduated both me and my daughter, Sienna. I am entrusted each day guiding the curriculum for the school, including that of our incomparable world language department, and with working with our young people. Often I ask myself, how did I get this lucky? And then I think back to my Graham. Her mission was successful. She certainly instilled a work ethic and a pride in me. Only I would tell her that I am a proud Italian American. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bott. That was beautiful. Would the inductees and Ms. Bott, our honorary member, please stand? The large center candle is the Madre Fiamma, or Mother Flame, which represents inspiration. Each of you has a candle in your hand. This symbolizes the potential in life, your potential in life. Without being inspired and responding, you exist, but you don't meet your life's full potential. As your name is called, we ask that you come forward to the Madre Fiamma and light your individual candle. Be inspired to continue to strive for excellence. As you return to your seats, remain standing to take the pledge. Our junior inductees, Thomas Amon. Cassandra Austin. Ashley Boyarko. Gina DiNapoli. Bailey Elliser. Caitlin Greenaway. Sullivan Smith, Nina Tran, Gabriella Vanetti, and our 2024 honorary inductee, Miss Ann Bott. Ho l'onore di presentare I seguenti candidati che aspirano a diventare soci della Società Onoraria Italica, Sezione Maria Montessori. I am honored to introduce the candidates who have been chosen to become members of the Maria Montessori chapter of the Italian National Honor Society.
Please raise your right hand. I hereby charge you as member of the Società Onoraria Italica Maria Montessori chapter to uphold and pursue the highest goals of honesty, integrity, loyalty, service, character, and academic excellence, and to continue to enthusiastically promote the study of the Italian language and culture, remembering that a foreign language can be a strong bond between people of different cultures, religions, and races. If you so pledge, signify by replying together, Lo giuro, I swear.
Amici, per l'autorità a me conferita in quanto socio della Società Onoraria Italica, vi dichiaro soci della sezione Maria Montessori. Now, because you have so sworn, I hereby declare that having met the criteria for membership, you are officially recognized as a member of the Maria Montessori chapter of the Società Onoraria Italica of Boardman High School. Complimenti e tanti auguri. You may extinguish your candles and keep it as a memento of your induction.
Would Mrs. Kiefer, Mrs. Amro, and Ms. Fashadi please move to the awards table? New inductees, as your names are called, kindly step to the table to receive your medal and certificate and proceed down to the table to sign the official ledger. Family members, feel free to step forward to take a picture as your child signs the ledger. Thomas Amen. Gina Di Napoli. Bailey Elliser. Caitlin Greenaway. Zachary Haus. Sarah Land. Lucy Papini. Callie Ronsi, she could not be in attendance tonight. Sullivan Smith. Nina Tran. Gabriella Venetti. Miss Ann Bott.
May we present to you the new members of the Società Onoraria Italica 2024. At this time, would you join me in honoring the new members with a round of applause? Grazie mille to all of you for attending our 2024 induction ceremony. We are all very proud of the accomplishments of our students and thank you for your support in their pursuit of excellence in Italian. We invite you to enjoy the refreshments in the cafeteria. Please feel free to use the area set up in the cafeteria for a photo opportunity to remember this honorable event. Thank you for being a part of this memorable occasion. Grazie a tutti, viva l'italiano!